What is up, my fellow gamers? In today's video, we got our best guide for character creation in the global launch brand new game, Dragonheir Silent Gods. Like and subscribe for more amazing mobile game content. We also have some coupons from our sponsor, as well as HUAWEI devices that you can get as well. First thing, I just want to go really quick over the new heroes in Season 1. We got new heroes for the Necros, as well as new heroes for the Fire. Now, the Necros, I actually got super duper lucky already, and I pulled one of the new Necro heroes. I got Zarloth. I don't know how to say that. Zarloth. This is a support Necro hero, absolutely insane for arena PvP. So I was super excited because I already mentioned before in my previous videos that the Necros in this game are a super duper broken team to go ahead and build, and that's what I'm trying to do. All right, so here we go. There's actually two parts to character creation, and they are important. We have 4 different kinsfolk to choose from. We have the human, the half-elf, the dwarf, and finally the lizard folk. Now, at first glance, the main difference is the fact that your character is just going to look different. Now, depending on which one you choose, that's pretty much going to represent what your main character is going to look like. You can do small adjustments as well as like hair and outfits and stuff like that. But there's another very important part to this. Aside from just choosing which kind of character you want to look like, you're also going to notice that each different kinsfolk has a different starting attribute level. So for the human, you'll see we got 10, 10, 11, 11, 11, 11. The human is more of a balanced kind of play style, which I actually don't suggest. My biggest suggestion is to try and focus on 1 or 2 attributes and kind of max those out, or at least get those higher to increase your dice roll chances. The next one we have is the half elf, which is good for charisma. You'll notice the charisma is starting at 12. So if you want to be someone who wants to have high charisma, which is going to affect a lot of the gameplay when it comes to your relationships with these NPC characters, then I suggest the half elf, because there is going to be a lot of instances where you want to be friends with these NPCs, because as you do go ahead and increase your friendliness with them, you can get additional rewards. For the dwarf is pretty good for strength and constitution. This has to do more for stuff like if you want to be good at like drinking contests, if you want to be good for kind of moving heavy objects or anything like that, just having brute strength. There are a few instances where you are going to need to have strength and constitution at a decent level. There's not like a crazy amount of skill checks for those two, but there are some pretty significant ones, especially when it comes to going ahead and crafting armor, or aka forging. That's where strength also does kind of play a part. And then the final one we have is the lizard folk. Now you notice lizard folk starts with 12 for strength, and then 11, 11, a little bit in con and a little bit in the charisma. For this instance, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose a half elf. The half elf is what I chose in the beta, and I had a lot of success with it. The first thing we got to do is we got to download AppGallery. I'll have links to everything down below in the description box. You're going to need an Android device in order to do this. If you don't have an Android device, just go ahead and download an emulator on your PC. You can use anything like LD Player or BlueStacks. After that, you're going to go ahead and create an account. Now, it's very important that for your region, we're going to go to where it says settings and it says country region. When you sign up, you have to select a European region. Otherwise, these offers will not show up for you. It does not matter where you are in the world. I live in the United States. For me, I have my country set to Italy, and I'm still able to receive all of these rewards and benefits. So very important, just make sure it's Italy, Netherlands, any kind of European region. After that, we're gonna be in our home menu for AppGallery. We're gonna go where it says promotions, and then we're going to see at the very top, we got the Dragonheir Silent Gods global launch campaign. We're going to click this. It'll say available now, 19th of September. This is our download link to download the game through AppGallery. After you go ahead and do that, we're going to scroll down a little bit more, and we're going to have our free gifts. So claim your download gift. We're going to get 300 red crystals along with 4 starlight stone dust, which is very important. It's going to help us summon more heroes, possibly get an epic hero. And then a little bit further, we have some beef stew as well as gold and some more starlight stone dice as well that we can get. Now, after you go ahead and claim those free rewards, a little bit further down, you're going to see join the Discord to participate in the top-up event to redeem HUAWEI devices. So every time you go ahead and spend 100 euro, it's going to be equal to 1 point. Link to the Discord will be down below in the description box. If you're having trouble signing up or you have any additional questions about these offers, just join the Discord and an admin can go ahead and support you and answer any questions. Now, after you go ahead and claim those offers, we're then going to go to where it says me in the bottom right corner. We're going to go to where it says rewards. And this is where you're going to see your 2 gift codes. So right here, I have my download gift code 1 with my redeem code, and then my Dragonheir download gift code. This is my second one along with my redeem code as well. You're just going to simply copy those and enter those into the game to get your rewards, just like you would any other coupon code. All right, my friends, here we are. This is the second part of character creation, and this is by far the most important. We have to choose our class. We got 4 different ones. We have the archaeologist, the soldier, the thief, and finally the actor. Now each one is going to have set different attributes. You'll see that for the actor, the charisma is already at 14. Whereas if we look at the archaeologist, it's slightly different with the charisma at 12, wisdom at 12 as well. Now the huge difference is the fact that depending on the class we choose, we're going to get advantages in certain aspects of the Dungeons and Dragons universe. So for this instance, if we choose archaeologist, we're going to be good at cooking, which means we're going to yield more food every time we go ahead and use the same ingredients. So let's say we're using 2 ingredients to cook 1 meal, we're going to get 2 meals out of it because we are an archaeologist. We have this cooking effect. The other one is Fortune Seeker. We are able to go ahead and spot unusual hidden objects. And this is just when we're kind of walking around exploring, we'll randomly have those dice checks pop up and we can find hidden treasures such as just resources. Choosing the archaeologist, the main advantages are going to be wisdom and intelligence. This is kind of what we want to build out. Remember how I said at the beginning, you really want to pick a build and go with it. Trying to balance everything out is always the worst possible way to do this. We take a look at the bottom, we're going to see these little dice with a 1 or a 0. Now, if you'll see the 1, that means that when we have a skill check for wisdom, we are going to get a +1 to whatever our roll is. So let's say our dice check, we have to get a 10. If we roll a 9 on wisdom, we're going to get a +1 extra because of our attribute points. So we'll get a 10, so we will pass the check. If you go ahead and you just kind of balance it out, and you're going to have like a +1 in every single thing. And +1s really don't help. You really want to get to like those +3s and +4s for your dice checks, because there's going to be really hard ones where you have to roll like a 15 or higher, some crazy high number. And only having a +1, you know, the odds of you rolling a 14 and having it just help is very like negligible. But if we roll like a 12 and we have to hit a 15 and we're getting a +3, that's a huge difference. So the number 1 class that I always recommend, I've been recommending this since the beta, is the archaeologist. And that is because of the fact that we are able to cook more food because of that special effect. Cooking in this game is one of the most important aspects. You're always going to be cooking food because it not only gives you heals, but it also gives you crazy amount of buffs. You can get buffs for pretty much everything in the game: attack, defense, HP, different elemental powers. There's all kinds of recipes. In fact, I did a whole video where I went over all of the recipes way back in the beta. I'll have a link to that down below in the description box. It's a bit old, the video, but it's still relevant because they didn't really change the recipes for global launch. So all the recipes in the beta, you can still use those today in the global launch servers. The next one we have is the soldier. This is going to give us an advantage in strength and constitution. Being muscular allows you to better handle situations that require force and destruction. So there's going to be some instances where this is just kind of like random through your story quests where this will help out, but it's not something that is going to constantly help you out. Like cooking, you're always going to be cooking mid-game, beginning game, end game, no matter what. Cooking is a huge factor. The other thing is the alcohol tolerance, which is, it's kind of cool. The drinking contests in this game, they're not like crazy. It doesn't matter if you lose. The only big thing is it's like a little bit of gold. So what you do is you bet a little bit of gold, you roll the dice for your drinking contest, and then you either win or you lose. If you win, you win a little bit of gold, but again, it's not a huge significance to it. So this one is like one that is like, it's okay, but it's not going to get you the most benefits. Next one we have is the Thief. This would be my second suggestion, because aside from always cooking, the other thing that you're constantly doing in the game is stealing. You're always going to be stealing items from merchants constantly. This not only is going to save you gold because you don't have to purchase the items because you just stole them. So that kind of defeats the purpose of like needing to win drinking contests to try and win gold, because if you're a good thief, then you're just naturally going to be constantly stealing all the items that you need. But for this instance, we're going to dump a lot of points into the dexterity attribute. The last one we have is actor. Now this one is probably like my third option, and this has to do with charisma. At the beginning, we chose our kinsfolk to be a half elf, and because of that, we already had 2 extra in our charisma. So if we choose the actor, you'll see our charisma gets buffed to 14, and that is even before we assign our points. So we're getting a +2 to our dice roll check anytime we have a charisma that we have to roll for. So what I like to do is I'll go archaeologist so that we get the buff to our cooking, and now you'll see that our charisma is at 12 and our wisdom's at 12 and our intelligence. So these are the ones that I kind of like to go off of, would be the charisma, wisdom, and intelligence. These are like the 3 most important ones, unless you want to go for a thief build, which is where you would dump a lot more into dexterity as well as charisma. If you do happen to fail stealing, you'll actually have a charisma check. That way you can bamboozle the NPC into letting them know that like, hey, you're seeing things. I wasn't trying to steal. So like intelligence and charisma kind of goes hand in hand. You're stealing, and then if you get caught stealing with your charisma so high, you're able to kind of lie your way out of the fact that you were stealing and got caught. Now, as we go ahead and add our 6 points to our different attributes, I really want you to pay attention to the numbers, because as you get these numbers to certain increments, you'll see it increase. So at 14, we're going up to 2. At 16, it's now at 3. And then at 18, it is at 4. So this is like really, really strong. We're getting a +4 for our charisma. Ideally, when you're first starting off, you want to have at least a +2 or a +3 for one of your attributes, because it's just going to help you out a lot more early game. I put 4 points into wisdom and then 2 into charisma. So we're getting a +2 for our charisma and a +3 for our wisdom. The worst thing that you can do is to have something like this, where you just kind of have everything as like a +1, because it really just hurts your overall gameplay. That is it. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed the video. Stay happy, stay safe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.